Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Raise Your Goblets is a party game about putting poison in your friends' goblets. If that sounds like a fantastic good time, you're the type of gamer I want to game with, and I don't want to be your friend. So this is a party game. Now the box says up to 12. I don't recommend it over 6 because then you have to get like this team thing. And I don't like that as much, but I think, 4 to 6, I think you're right in the peak for this game. You're going to be putting these poison and antidotes and moving these things around. And you really need a group that's going to kind of get into this and not just want to end it prematurely because they don't want to play a game. You're going to need some people in there who are really strategically trying to play it. I think that's when the game shines the most. Now, with that said, this is one of those games, it's a party game. You just don't have to roll with the punches here, and I like that. It's a thin game, which means it doesn't have a lot of rules, doesn't have a lot going on. You're trying to read everybody else, a little bit of meta. You're going to have one person you get more points for, and you actually might want to play it a couple times in a row just to kind of get the vibe of it. And it doesn't last that long. The players are going to control how long that it lasts. So you're going to be able to, if you want to play a longer version, everybody's really getting into it, really trying to set everything up, it can go a little bit longer, but we're talking 15 minutes here, not 3 hours or anything. It's a really fun little party game. It's very different than any other game I've had in my collection. You see a lot of clones, a lot of apple-to-apple clones. You see a lot of clones of deck builders, but this one's something very, very unique, and I liked it. The components are just out of the world. The components are really, really good, and it really brings the game to life. And there's an upgraded version of it, a deluxe version. You don't need that at all. I think it just changes some of the colors and things. The retail version is fantastic. I really, really like this one. And if you're looking for a party game that gives you something a little bit different than what you're just getting in so many clones out there of Resistance, this is different and you'll like it. Now, you need to watch. Watch who's doing what, where they're moving things. And you can get a lot of information in this game. At the end of the day, you kind of just call it and you see what everybody has and you try to play. Now, there's an add-on where you can have player powers and some other gamer type things that are going on. Fantastic. Really like this one. Now, it isn't one I'm going to play every time. It's not one of those games where I'm going to pull out. But man, if I have exactly 6 and we're wanting to play a lighter party game, this is one I can pull out. Everybody just kind of has a good time, especially if you're playing with non-gamers that kind of get the rules down, which there aren't a lot, but there is something here. They're really, really going to enjoy this game. I'm going to recommend it if you're into party games. You usually play with 4 to 6 and you want to play something like this. I like this best probably at 6. Probably 5, 6, but 6 is really the number for me. I want more without having to go teams. I think you could play this with up to as many as you want if you just had more goblets. So if you had a set of 12 cups that took the goblets out of here and had a cup of, say, 12 cups that were exactly alike, you could definitely play this game with more people or some way to signify those. So it's a fantastic game, one I highly recommend, and I think you should check out if you're into party games. Here is Raise Your Goblets, which you can just see is a fantastic box art here. Cool Mini or not, really just knocked out of the park with this one. You will get a rule book that will come with it. You're going to get some these are actually really nice stands. They're a little small, but they fit the purpose around. They have the game right here on the back of it if anybody wants to follow along with that. You will have a custom insert, sort of. You'll have some cards that you'll have here. And these will have different artwork on them that are just really, really good. So let's take a look at some of this artwork. I really like this. Master Mercury. These are the different characters that you'll have in the game. These are the colors of the players. And you'll have a few more. You can just see that there are plenty in here. This game plays up to 12, so there's a lot of variety. You're going to get a bunch of tokens. Here are the rings that will come with it. And these goblets are just fantastic. Now, I don't think you would put this in a dishwasher or drink out of it, but these are really great little goblets that you'll be utilizing in the game. So you'll get 6 of those. Everything will fit in here perfectly. So here's a rule book. You'll start out with a page with all of the components listed. You're going to have a setup here, which is a great picture that will utilize that. And then you have a page for each of the courses. There's 3 phases. They call them courses. So here's the appetizer, the main course, and here are all the actions that you can take. And then the toast, which will be the scoring aspect of the game. You're going to have desserts with the game variants, different ways that you can play. There's some special rules if you want to play 2 or 3. And the 7 or 12, you're going to be playing as a team. So there's some rules for that. Then the back just gives you information about the different houses. This really doesn't mean anything. Now, when you're playing the game, everybody will start out with a character card. So you'll have a little power. Once per course, you can demand that all players avert their eyes. You can swap or exchange a goblet. Every 3 wine tokens also count as 1 antidote. So he's pretty good if you're going to be using a poison. When you pour, you may pour 1 poison and 1 antidote token into 2 different goblets. Before drinking, you make 2 predictions about who will be poisoned. Score extra victory points. When you swap, you may exchange any 2. So these things would just allow you to break the rules. Also, each player will be given a random color to the other players, which will utilize who they're trying to target this round. So you'll be getting one of these randomly, and it'll tell you who you're trying to poison to score additional victory points. You also have these bees that you'll be utilizing during the game. The red is going to be wine, the black will be the poison, and the white will be the antidote. And you'll be utilizing these throughout the game. To start the appetizer phase, everybody will start out with 3 of the red wines, 2 of the black poisons, and 2 of the white antidotes. The host will then take 2 poison, 1 antidote, and enough wine to equal the number of players. So you want the total gems to be the number of players. In this case, we're using 6, so we will use 3 wine. If we were playing with 5, we would only have 2 wine. So what you'll do is you'll just kind of randomly shake these up without knowing what you're doing. Now keep in mind the players will not be able to see inside the cups. You will then fill one of these items in each cup. So in this case, this cup right here would have the poison in it. Each cup will also get a color on the bottom of it for whatever player they're sitting in front of. And then, so when you move it, it gives you a little bit of a reference because that's the only thing that's going to make the cups look different. Now, the main course is going to be the main part of the game. And this is where players will perform up to 2 actions on their turn. And this round will only end when somebody decides to perform a toast. At the beginning of the appetizer phase, each player is given their gems they can utilize. I'm going to use these gems when I perform an action. The first action I can perform is pour. I can take one of my gems, whatever I want, let's say the poison, and I can put it in a goblet. Now, nobody else is going to know what I put in, just where I put it. The second possible action is I can look inside my goblet and see what's in there. Ah, somebody's trying to poison me. The third possible action is I can rotate all of these, thus putting a different cup in front of me. This time, I wouldn't be able to peek inside, but if I could, with an action, I would find out that there's wine inside. The poison that was in front of me is now to the next player. The fourth possible action is I can swap my goblet with somebody else's if I so chose. This would be a poor decision because this one has 2 poison in it now. Yikes! For my fifth possible action, I can toast. And I have to be my first action. Remember, I can perform 2. It must be my first, and it would just end the round. So when you toast, it doesn't give you the opportunity to make a move and then toast. I have to do my first action, and then we'll move on to the next phase. I can also pass if I want to. If I don't want to perform an action, I could just pass. That'd be my 6th final. During the toast phase, everybody will get to do one more action, starting with the person to the left of the toaster. So if I perform the toast action in the round, this person then would take an action all the way around, leaving me the last action. After that, you look through your cup and you see if you score any victory points. Now, for each poison, if there's an antidote inside my cup, it would cancel out the poison. If I had 2 and 2, these poisons would not kill me. But if I only had 1 antidote and 2 poison, then I would die and not survive. Now, if I had 2 poison and 2 antidote and 2 wine, I would survive and then score points. If I have more antidotes than poison, it has no effect. I get 1 victory point if I survive. That means I have more antidotes or an equal number of antidotes to poison or no poison. I get another victory point if my target person is poisoned. I would get a 3rd victory point if I survived and my target was poisoned. So that's a possibility of 3 victory points. Whoever has the most wine in their cup would receive a victory point. So the possible number of victory points, the maximum amount I can get on a turn in a game is 4 victory points. That would require me to survive, poison my target, do both, which gives me an extra victory point,
and then have the most wine in my cup. Very hard to accomplish all 4.
Who should buy this game? This is specifically for people who might have a need to play party games. If you're normally going to play with 6 or sometimes have an avenue to play with 6, you can play this with kids, you can play this with adults, you can play this at church, at groups. This is one that hits a lot of things. Now, it does go up to 12, so you can definitely play the team-oriented game or get different cups or mugs if you want to. But I think this game works brilliantly. I like it quite a bit. It's very different than what's coming out on the market, and it's one that I recommend for you at least to check out. And I will be keeping this one in my collection because of the uniqueness of this game and how much fun I have playing it. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing games.